Origins Live Podcast is about to get started, starring the legendary NickBabyLoveSalerno and the wild man Teddy T. We're going to give you information about DJs, artists, music, labels. It's a history lesson right here. It's a podcast. It's all the way live streaming right now. Wild man Teddy T, Nick Baby Love, we in the building. Oh! Right now you listen to the sounds of DJ Richie Kazar from Studio 54. Oh yeah, we're taking you back today. Let's go! Origins, we giving you all a vibe of what's about to go on today, man. Oh yeah, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. Origins, baby. Every Monday, turn us on, New Kirk, let's go. Yeah, we know. Turn us on, New Kirk, we ready to do it. There we go. It's all the way live, baby. Wild man Teddy T, Nick Baby Love, we in the building right now. Y'all check us out. We live streaming. What's the what we looking for? No
Origins Live.
Origins
in today's
Live.
Date.
Origins Live, baby. Go to YouTube, Origins Live, Facebook, IG.
Origins Podcast Live.
Origins Podcast Live is what you want to get on.
All the way live.
And we got my brother Nick Baby Love in the building. Nick, what's cracking, man?
Hey, a little bit under the weather, coming off of the Saber list for my man Teddy T, who keeps me going.
Yeah.
He's my young inspiration, me being old school, you know what I mean? You see the cap I got on?
You see it?
And today we're honored because coming up, you know,
Don't tell him yet. Just wait.
Okay.
We got to set up what we're doing.
You just saw Richie Kazar. That's classic footage when there was no iPhones, no nothing.
No, that wasn't footage. That was just audio.
Okay, if it was audio, well, everybody needs to know, once again, like I said, every Monday, Origins, 4 to 5 p.m., you know, Strong Arm Radio, Strong Arm Entertainment. This is Nick Baby Love with Teddy T in Newkirk. And, you know, the bottom line is, you know, I'm old school, and we're educating all of you. Knowledge is power, people.
Yeah. All right, so look, we're going to go ahead and jump into this, man. This is serious now. Coming up, you got into New York, and we're going to talk about Studio 54. We're going to talk about, I'm going to give you the parameters. We're going to do two DJs. We're going to do Studio 54, Richie Kazar, we're going to start with. Then we're going to go to the garage and go to Larry Levant. Then we're going to do Jelly Bean Benitez. We're going to do Shep Pettibone. And then we're going to get into Carlos De Jesus and Frankie Crockett.
Frankie Crocker.
You know, Frankie Crocker, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
WBLS.
So we're going to show how, you're going to tell the story how the progression of how the DJs used to break the music to the point with these hot parties, and then how the radio stations came in, and these two guys on the end, Carlos and Frankie Crocker, was the one that brought it to the radio.
Yeah, they were the program directors. Carlos De Jesus in the early 70s and beyond was the program director for WKTU FM in New York City. A very good friend of mine.
We're not going to go on him yet. We're going to start off with the Studio 54, Richie Kazar. That's what we're starting with.
Yeah.
Studio 54. Let's go right there now to Studio 54, Richie Kazar. You said he had the coalition of DJs. Let's go from there.
Yes. You know, basically, Richie, first-class guy, probably one of the original gangsters in the gay mafia. He started, getting with all the DJs in New York. I can name so many: Jimmy Stewart, Bobby Guttadaro, Tony Gio. There's a lot of other guys that we will, mention as we go along with this podcast down the road. Origins. Richie just put together this coalition. It was sort of informal, but you had an ID and whatnot. And because I finagled in Boston with John Luongo and the Boston Record Pool and everybody else, George Borden, Joey Carvello, some of the big names, Dana Jacovitis, Cosmo Wyatt, one of my big mentors, Sonny Joe White, we're going to talk about. And, of course, just
come on, let's keep on.
Many other people.
Studio 54, man.
So
come on.
Because I reported to Billboard,
come on,
and Record World with Vince Aletti, and that can be Googled. Vince Aletti, Record World. That used to be a magazine, but then Richie called me up. One thing led to another. I got invited to New York in Studio 54. If you were the mayor, you weren't getting in that club. It was just really crazy the way they did it. The club had 4 or 5 different rooms. They had the coke room, the grass room. You just can't, the sex room. I'm just telling it the truth, you know what I mean? And obviously the music, they broke records, and people like Frankie Crocker from WBLS or Carlos De Jesus from WKTU used to come in and take notes. And that's how we broke a lot of records. I mean,
let's go back to what was the approach that the DJs that you liked about Richie Kazar, of how he broke a record. Like, what did he do that made him stand out from other people to be at Studio 54?
What he would do is he'd get in there early. There would be a few people, and he'd play a record 3-4 times. Like, for example, a record called Lovin' You Is Really My Game by Brainstorm on Taboo Records. It was distributed by CBS, which is now Sony, BMG, and all that. And he played it and played it and played it. Then he was more comfortable playing it at prime time, and the crowd went crazy. Frankie Crocker, this is just an example, finds out about it. This is a true story. The record was a cutout.
Right.
It was dead for a year. And Richie brought it back. This is an example we used to go on every single week. And so Frankie his afternoon drive, WBLS with KTU, the number 1 or 2 station and the number 1 market in the world, New York City. And so then Frankie started playing it every day, and the damn label had to repress the record. And they sold like 175,000 12-inches within 2 months, and the group was getting shows. This is where I get really angry about today. They wouldn't know how to break a record because they're so spoiled and whatnot with all the equipment. This is when we really were gangsters and found the right record, and we broke records. And I'm just giving you one example of Lovin' You Is Really My Game by Brainstorm on Taboo, which is distributed by CBS. I remember all that because I was involved with it. I ended up promoting the record, and a record that just sat on the shelf.
So, like with Richie Kazar, with the coalition of DJs, how many clubs did they control, and who were some of the DJs that was on there?
They controlled all of New York City, out of New York, Long Island, Connecticut, Philly, somewhat in Boston, even though we had our own thing in Boston. And then, of course, New Jersey, the whole tri-state area. And then it spread around the country. And obviously, the rest is history. I mean, he was one of the people of many that, his philosophy was, hey, if something is in the pocket. Pull the mic into
your face, Nick. Pull the mic over. You're not talking directly in the mic.
Have I got it now?
No, put the mic into your face. There you go.
Am I all right now?
Turn it straight. There you go.
Okay. So I hope you heard what I just said.
We heard what you just said.
But it's better now.
Right.
Okay, so, the bottom line to the whole thing is the philosophy was, having a good set of ears, really doing your homework and practicing, and finding those 2, 3, 4 songs out of 50 that you thought, you could break at the club level. Radio would pay attention, and then they got the attention of the labels, and the labels started going crazy, sending all kinds of stuff. Example, Larry Levan, if I can jump ahead, Larry Levan ended up becoming he was at the Garage in wherever it was on the West End or whatever in New York. I would go in to see him. Larry ended up doing several remixes. In fact, a classic song by Gwen Guthrie, he remixed that, one of his first remixes, and I believe it was Gwen Guthrie. It was about, brother, you ain't dating me unless you paying the rent. You know what I mean? And he did an incredible version. There's other guys that he was involved with, like Walter Gibbons, who mixed the biggest record of all time in clubs. It's a double-sided hit, 10% by Double Exposure on Sal Soul Records, with the flip side, Your Love Is Free, but that was the first commercial 12-inch. And this used to happen every week, so it was exciting instead of, just the overload of BS, where people just, were followers. That's my main point, right, Teddy? We were leaders. That's the way I was brought up, to be leaders. You know what I mean? That's the bottom line.
Right. So, like, when we're dealing with all the situations, like Larry Levan was in the spot doing it, you know what I'm saying? And give us, like, the type of vibe that Larry had as a DJ. Like, what made him different from Richie, and why was the Garage? What was the difference between the Garage and Studio 54?
The Garage, which was, predominantly a gay club, but all the hip straight people like me, were invited in, even though I was in the, so-called music business or just learning. He would have the ability, like a Jimmy Stewart, who I consider the greatest of all time, but Larry would bring the crowd up into a frenzy and then bring them down, you know what I mean? And then bring them back up again. Like, the only example I could give you is like listening to a song, and he used to actually do that and get on stage and play it out like this kid, Captain Wendell in Boston, a song called by the Isley Brothers originally did it, then Otis Day and the Knights. You know the song I'm talking about.
You make me want to shout.
Shout. There
Take
you
my
go.
Hands up and shout.
Now, do you see the ups and downs with shout of bringing the crowd up and then being able to, they're tired, bring them down, and then, that's how you controlled, the audience, back in the day, versus today, they're just smoking, the weed, and they're not even dancing today, as our brother Lonzo Williams with the World Class Wrecking Crew and NWA said, last week, whenever we last had Lonzo Williams on, they don't even like dance today. So, I want to get back to the melody, the hook, and dancing and breaking records, and really, really doing stuff that's creative, not, going into a computer and you think you're a producer because you got a computer and a
microphone,
and not only a microphone, but a Pro Tools program, or like my buddy Teddy Riley with that, what is it, Studio One or whatever his program is, if I'm on the mic correctly. You know what I mean?
No, you're fine.
Yeah, you're good. So, like, just the action of, like, I would say, that was showing how the different gangs used to all be inside the Garage. It was, like, different sets of ethnicities of people, from the gay people, straight people, celebrities, gangs, all in one location to come enjoy themselves. What was that like?
It was a beautiful thing. It was once you got inside the door, because this is, when I say gay mafia, I'm being very, very serious. They didn't play around, because they'd have a sign at the door that said, "This is a gay club, enter at your own risk." In other words, to say, We don't want no BS. You're going to spill a drink. You're going to do something stupid. You're getting thrown out. None of this political correctness BS. And everybody got along. That's what I wish we could go back to. Instead of if you're right and you don't listen to somebody on the right, then you're wrong. In other words, freedom of speech. And everybody just had a great time. And what was exciting was when there was a new record, like a 10% by Double Exposure, or the many hits that Larry Levan broke, and bringing the audience up and down all night. I mean, you're talking about the club didn't open till midnight. It would go till 7, 8 in the morning. This is crazy. It was just a warehouse. That's why they called it the damn garage.
Right, because it was a warehouse.
And then you had all the labels. Every label back then was RCA to Casablanca. 15 labels coming in, taking notes and all this. And that's how Larry got all the remix work along with everybody else. You can think of Richie Kazar, Jelly Bean, a ton of guys. You know what I mean? It inspires guys like from my backyard, like Arthur Baker, who ended up doing Planet Rock on just an idea.
So, like, did all these guys have a network? Did they go kick it after the club? Did they listen to music together? Like, what was their camaraderie outside of the club?
Yeah, well, it was a lot of camaraderie. If you would end up just to come down from party until 6 in the morning or whatever it was, you'd end up just, going to breakfast, doing all that stuff, and man, we used to go just either one of the, I'm just trying to think of the names, the delis in New York with the pastrami and the freaking corned beef, they were open 24 hours, or you would go get soul food. It was pretty amazing. That's when I really, really got turned on to, like, Black Eyed Peas and, and greens. Oh, I went nuts. And, that's where the camaraderie, like you were in college or you were familia, in Spanish and in Italian, you were real family. And there was none of the outside BS. And we knew we were influencing the labels because they were really reacting and saying, Larry, could you remix this? And, it had to be in the pocket.
Right. I mean, it's definitely, when you look at the documentaries that we've been showing, they've got a couple documentaries about Larry and the garage, you know what I'm saying? And it definitely had an impact. This being, 1980, 81, 82, 83.
Even before that, you know what I mean? I mean, it started, playing 45s back in 72. That's when Richie started, and I started, like I said, I was born in Worcester, Mass, and spun in Worcester and Boston and surrounding areas. Before it was disorganized then, but slowly but surely, the bottom line to the whole thing was the melody and the hook and all the labels starting to pay attention. And that's where, for example, Scepter Records, okay, owned by Florence Greenberg and Mel Sherrin, because I'm on the album. It's probably impossible to find, but I know people have it out there. They had a record called Call Me Your Anything Man by Bobby Moore. Everybody will argue about this, but it was the first 12-inch by accident, because when it went to the plant accidentally pressed the record and just ran it because the loops in between would be expanded, so therefore you'd have a higher pitch of quality, coming off the vinyl. And so once a label like Salsoul, the K. brothers, found out about that, that's when they released Double Exposure on a 12-inch. In other words, one song on an album, and they released that commercially in 75. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to keep the camera on you. You're the one talking, you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm with you. Newkirk's got it. It's all good. I need that wine over there, though.
Yeah.
Keep me going. I need that wine. I'm an Italian. Got to have my, that's called, Sangiovese. We can give a shout out to Reggie Mathis because that's his favorite wine now.
So I want to get into the Jelly Benitez and Shep, how they was doing the remixes, and like how everybody really got in tune with Madonna, being a part of that coalition. She was able to connect with everybody. She was dating Jelly Bean. Shep did a remix with her, you know what I mean? So what was that like?
Yeah, there was a couple other key people in that. There was T. Scott, very good friend of mine from way back in the day. There was her number one guy, Madonna's number one guy of all time, even though Jelly Bean is very important. Funhouse, all over New York, had his own label, did an awful lot, is historic in the business. There was a guy named Junior Vasquez. Mm-hmm. To this day, I haven't talked to him in years. Junior Vasquez was the man. He mixed most of Madonna's songs. He was just brilliant in the studio.
I mean, that was after the fact. Jelly Bean and these other people was the ones that was creating her movement. Like, once the music was getting done, but these guys was very important as far as keeping her in the network and getting her meeting with the DJ.
No. But Junior started too, and
right.
so did T. Scott. I can't overlook them.
No, definitely.
But Shep Pettibone mixed for a lot of labels, and he was another one.
Shep Pettibone.
You're going, and that's the other thing. You're going to these clubs in New York City, like I said, Boston, Philly, New Jersey, Connecticut, all surrounding areas, and of course South Florida. If I'm all right on the mic, you know what I mean. Not only was it about breaking records, but that just that whole philosophy of we're going to show them, they're going to take us seriously. We're trying to put a coalition together, and that was when record pools first started. People started thinking about, well, instead of having to make 100,000 calls to all the labels, let's have a record pool. And I think Richie started one of the first record pools along with another young man on Long Island, and I forgot his name right now, but that's how Eddie Perez, I know he did a pool.
Eddie Perez.
I believe, like I said, I'm doing this off the cuff.
That's what it is, man, off the head, but it's real.
This ain't no plan. I ain't reading it. I don't need a teleprompter.
This is a live podcast called Origins where my man Nick Baby Love, he was there. He was at these situations. Today we're talking about the impact of DJs and the clubs and how it all mixed up to a lot of big records and big things going on. Nick Baby Love was brought in to the situation coming from Miami, right? You came up to New York from Miami?
No, I came from Boston. I started in Boston, Worcester in Boston, and Providence, Rhode Island, and that's how I got the whole New York thing. Then I went and I was so hot, they gave me a job at a world-famous club in Fort Lauderdale, The Button.
The Button!
So I had to take a job at The Button, with a guy named John Terry, John Torregrossa, an Italian paisan of mine, and then I did cruise ships with Bo Crane, Pandis Records, all over the world. All over, but still maintain my thing, and I would go up and down in New York, and I would sit in and spin, I'm not going to get into how many times I spun this place and that place and whatever.
But you was doing it. We'll get into it now.
Yeah, no, because it's just a thing of, of this is all real. It really was.
Definitely.
It was the basics of the music business and really having to work at your craft. Mm-hmm. See, that's what teased me off. They don't work today the way we did. We had to work at it. We had to call all the labels.
Tell them.
And that's where record pools came out of. That's where the 12-inch started by accident, because the 12-inch was big, because it had that quality.
Put that Shep. There you go. Look at that 12. Look at that. That's a 12-inch.
Well, example, they have it in college now with all these millennials. They have fakakta, and that's just another word. But to say it in Italian, I would say forget about it. They're having listening parties with vinyl only at a whole bunch of colleges around the country, and it puts a tear in my eye because you got different pressing plants that there's only 3 or 4 that are open, and my mind is blank right now.
That's all right. Let's get into Carlos De Jesus and Frankie Crocker and how they set up and what was going on. Let's go there. Let's go to Carlos De Jesus first.
So in order to be a good program director, like I learned from Jerry Russian, or a Kid Curry back in the day, that you had to do your research. You had to be involved with the high schools. You had to be involved in the hood, the barrio,
right,
and taking notes and whatnot. So when it came to these guys, example, like I said, that Loving You Is Really My Game by Brainstorm, they had to re-release and repress the record because really of Richie Kazar and a few other guys. And that's when Frankie Crocker says, I'm going to put on the radio. And then he became number one. He was hot for many years. I mean, you know, it was an R&B station, you know, and then KTU was more like, it was like an example I could give you now. It was like the 99 Jams and Power 96. Go say KTU, where you used to work, you were a legend at both stations here in Miami.
Right.
KTU was like a Power 96, so they would play more up-tempo, but I couldn't get Frankie on the phone, so I got the record, Planet Rock, to Carlos 36 hours later, because back then there was no cell phones, no nothing.
Right.
Because Bam got it to me with Tom Silverman, and it
Tom
broke.
Silverman from Tommy Boy Records.
He owned the record. After putting out 5 or 6 stiffs, he stuck with me. And a high school friend who was in high school, he's younger than me, Arthur Baker, and then another guy, Maurice Starr from Boston, who had New Edition. That's something else will be coming up, and New Kids on the Block. They both worked New Edition together, Arthur Baker and Maurice Starr. So it's all family. It's all working together, and that's how this whole business evolved. You know, out of if I'm still all right on the mic, that's how it evolved, and that story is going to be told over and over because it really puts a tremendous warmth in my heart that the colleges across the country, instead of all the political BS, they're actually seriously, I'm telling you, having listening parties with only vinyl, and kids are taken from their parents and get like, you know, you can name anybody. Miles Davis, you know, finding an old Miles Davis album that's probably worth $1,000 and playing that, you know, in these special listening parties at colleges all over the country. It's an amazing phenomenon, and it gives me hope that people will come back to the melody and the hook.
So let's. I want you to try to. I know you're not really. You listen to Hercules now. Like, what would you say is the difference between DJs back then and now, and what would the DJs of now have to do to get back to that nostalgia element from back in the days?
Well, actually, you know, Jill Strata is a great programmer. I'm not too familiar because they've mixed people around at Power 96, but they're very good also. But as far as Jill Strata, who, you know, like I said, my daughter goes back with her surrogate mom was her best friend, Kim Hughes, another legend at Hits Magazine, because we know Nasty Ness worked there. She does her research and brings in the right people. So people like DJ Nasty 305, Hercules, and a few of the other people, because I only get to listen when I'm with you. Being disabled, legally blind, I really don't have the time to.
I mean, I know that, but that's what I'm saying.
No, they're really getting down to it.
Right.
In other words, they're starting to go back because they're mixing, like, for example, Sko, who I think is one of the greatest young DJs in the country.
Right.
DJ Sko is mixing stuff like September by Earth, Wind, and Fire and all kinds of old school stuff in with the new stuff, and it blew me away when we did a show once, and I can't wait for him to come back. He was playing all my records. It was crazy. And I'm not my records. I'm only a small part of breaking these records. I'm a humble human being. I may talk a lot, but I listen. I'm an expert listener. So that really, Hercules, I love. I think she is the bomb. And like I said, DJ Nasty 305. There's plenty of other people. Gregorio, forget about it, Power 96. DJ Def. I mean, you know, Irie, Khaled, all those people that came out of the old school stuff. I'm talking about from our backyard, because we set the tone for the country. Right. Everybody pays attention to Miami, because at least with the Latino demographic, God bless all my Latinas and brothers out there, we break records. Even Jammin' Johnny at El Zol or 106 FM or whatever it is in Miami, you know, he's a disco guy and all that, and he's playing a lot of stuff in between, you know, the salsa and whatnot that he's playing. And so it is getting back there. When you hear, you know, stuff like I said, I get blown away when somebody does their research, because obviously Sko wasn't around when Earth, Wind, and Fire was at their highlight. Mm-hmm. And I'm hearing him mix September and doing all this other stuff. And then the other day, Hercules did, yeah. And I'm saying, she's sampling Planet Rock. That record came out in 1980. And she was like doing it with a loop through the whole thing. And so between the college kids having listening parties with vinyl only and all these young DJs that I mentioned, and Hercules is a female, so I give her double props. And I hope she comes on our show. It's just wonderful to see them going back and representing, because, you know, people like, you know, I think, you know, the two greatest of all time, you know, Tupac and Biggie Small, you know, they had that old school flavor. You know what I mean? It was different.
Right, right.
It's like, we're going to get into a story about the Sugar Gang. Don't even get me started.
Don't get started. Let's wait for
I know that's down the road, but then we're getting into the mafia and all that stuff.
Oh, wait a minute. That's Omerta.
There you go, Omerta. See how we got, do you think you would give me some of the wine? Please. You know, and we're gonna have a special guest coming on soon. But that, you know, the basics, you know, with Origins here, which is your idea, you came up with. You're the one that, you know, like Newkirk, right?
Yes, sir.
You ever seen a movie, How Stella Got Her Groove Back?
Yep.
Well, this brother right here, got Nick Baby Loves Groove Back.
Right now, we got his groove back. It's all about Origins. 4 to 5 p.m. We was running a little late today, but we still in here, baby. 4 to 5. 4 to 5:30 is going down. Nick Baby Love, Wild Man Teddy T is Origin Podcast Live on YouTube. Go to YouTube and go to Origin Podcast Live. We are live streaming right now. Every 2 weeks, you can check out Nick Baby Love dropping science about the game. And it's definitely, you know, what you need to check out. And right now, we got his homeboy coming up on the stream. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have Newkirk pull up. My posse's on Broadway, so we can look at him when he was a young man. Nasty Ness from the Hits magazine is live. He's in the building with us. Can we get him? Can we get a what, baby? Nasty Ness, what's going on, brother? Can you hear us, Nasty?
Well,
Nasty.
Nasty.
I hope so.
Can you hear us? Turn your mic on, Nasty.
He'll come through. This is why you got to call him ahead of time.
Yeah, we got him. But give Nasty Ness, give us some history about Nasty Ness.
Now, Nasty Ness, a friend of mine for over 30 years. He's from the West Coast. We parlayed so many things together. And when I was doing the McCullough thing and I was hot as a firecracker, besides him, you know, working a little bit with my daughter at Hits magazine, Ness did everything. But he's the one that signed, mixed, washed the floors, cooked the dinners, managed on the road. That's the man that brought one of the greatest artists of all time that doesn't get his due. Sir Mix-a-Lot is all about is Nasty Ness. He brought that to me, you know, through McCullough, and obviously he's a big-time artist. You know what I mean?
Yes,
from that whole era.
Nasty Ness, have we got you live? Can you talk yet? Can you hear us? Nasty.
Yeah, he'll be there. That's Origins for you. That's
We'll get him back.
Let's somebody call him or whatever. You know.
He's still there?
Well, we'll get him. You know, but you know, Nasty Ness is a legend from the West Coast. He controls, you know, very powerful.
Okay.
He control.
Oh, there you are.
There you are.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
Yay!
Hey, what's up,
We
my
can't
brother?
see you, though. Turn on your camera.
Turn your camera back on.
Let's see, now how do I turn my camera on? Let me see.
Right there
Let me
on the
figure
right.
this out here.
Well, I'll do it.
There you go. There you go.
You got me?
Yeah.
You can see me? You sure? Because I can't see me, man. I hope I look good.
You definitely look good. You definitely look hot, baby. You look like, you know what I'm saying, the OG that you are. You know what I mean? For real.
Really? I want to see what Nick looks like, though, because I can't see him. But, oh, well, I guess we'll figure it out.
My man.
Okay, well, I see me, so I guess I'm just going to talk to him, my face.
Yeah, he's going to be able to see me and the rest.
There you go.
All right.
So, Nasty Ness, man, you've definitely been a vintage legend in the game. You know what I'm saying? Tell us, what was your secret? How did you be able to have such a lasting stay power?
Wow, can you believe it started 40 years ago. 40 years ago, 1980, up in Seattle. And I just happened, I had no clue this was going to happen, but I started playing rap music on a show on Sunday nights, a new music show. I mixed it with some R&B, all brand new music, and everyone kept calling in to hear the rap stuff. So eventually it turned into an all rap show. So I guess you can say I'm the first DJ on the West Coast to have an all rap radio show on commercial radio. And that started in Seattle in 1980. And then that led to me meeting Sir Mix-a-Lot in 1983. But you know what? I didn't even know we went to the same high school because I was 2 years older than him. But we went to the same high school, so that kind of broke the ice. And, we together, along with a couple other cats, Ed Locke and Greg Jones, we started a record label, Nasty Mix Records. And that's how I met Nick Baby Love.
Nick Baby
I love you.
I love you, brother. I can't believe it's 35, 40 years. That's crazy.
That's it. Now
tell us. And I can't see you, but I'm assuming you still look the same.
Don't worry. I'm going to send you the stream so you can look on the stream and be able to look at everybody, see everything. So
doesn't your show end at 4 o'clock?
No. It doesn't end. It doesn't end till we finish it. We're good.
Teddy's the boss. Teddy's the program
director.
We want.
Sometimes things don't happen on time, but we ain't on no time
schedule. Oh, okay. So I'm talking to Teddy, the Teddy T, right?
That's right.
Wow, man, that's larger than Nick. Wow, man, this is great.
There you go.
So I want to know, I remember, man, the Hits Magazine, the College Network, man. Talk about that, man, because that's really like the bread and butter that you still rock on today. We got your chart, too. We're going to pull your chart up.
Well, in around 1998, I did all I could living up in Seattle, and Ricky Lee, who was running the mix show department at Hits Magazine, we were very close friends, and he knew I had college radio in the palm of my hands, and he goes, "Man, Ness, we need you up here at Hits Magazine to be our rap editor and to bring your crowd to us, And I said, okay, all right, let's give it a shot here. But you're going to have to move me to L.A. You're going to have to pay for my living expenses. You're going to have to pay for the truck. You have to pay for everything. And you know what? Hits Magazine said yes. And I said, I did all I could in Seattle. I always wanted to move to Cali. Reason why? Because I wanted to become an actor in Hollywood. So I said, all right, well, I'll take advantage of this trip so I can be in the movies. But, I was in like 3 movies, but moving here to Cali was the best move I ever made one of the best moves. And I'm so happy. And I've kept college radio alive to this day because they're the only ones that can play new music without, answering to their PD or music director, because now you can't break new music on the radio without getting permission, or it has to be okayed by the music director or program director. College radio, they can play whatever they want to, and after 9 or 10 p.m., it can be uncensored. So I've kept it going, even though there are times where, and Nick knows there were times when I wasn't getting paid, but you know what? I couldn't abandon my DJs. And I kept it going. And look, I'm still alive today. I've got like 50 plus plaques on my wall.
Woo.
And I'm talking to you guys.
That's
I'm
right.
Still doing it.
On the live Origins podcast awesome. Live. Nasty Ness, we got the legendary. My posse's on Broadway.
Hey,
oh yeah.
Ness,
always.
We got to just to entertain the audience there. We just got to give them one or two stories because me and you go back so far. It's prehistoric.
Oh.
And when I think of just all the dope we did, we could probably supply the whole country. It's like crazy.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you, Nick, and I'm gonna reveal a secret and a confession to both of you. In the 30 years I've done interviews, I've always had notes to read in case I forget. But this is the first interview ever I don't have any notes, and this is going off the top of my head. So there were a couple of reasons why I love going to Miami, because we were flown out there a few times because of performing there for I think it was Power 105 with Funky Frank, and the two live crew.
Frank Walsh,
yeah, I believe he passed away, right? Didn't he pass away?
I'm not sure.
He was a great guy. But there are a couple of reasons why I loved going to Florida. One reason was I got to see Connie. I had the biggest crush on Connie, although we just stayed friends. And back then, now you got to remember, I've been 30 years sober. Oh, well, not 30 years, about 16 years sober. But back then, boy, my nose, I just love, because of the movie Scarface, I got hooked on like cocaine, and I knew Miami was a spot. I went to this condo. This guy had a literally a size of a brick of uncut cocaine. Oh man! Oh, and ever since then, I always loved going back to Miami. But that, and of course, seeing Connie. Yeah, funky little beat. Remember that?
Oh yeah, definitely funky little beat. That's that joint. I mean, you've been part of a lot of records. Even like I was a part of the Big Butts tour. I had a group called Eminem. We came across I-10 all the way with what's his name? What was Big Butts? What's his name again? Who you just said?
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Sir Mix-a-Lot. Yeah.
That guy.
And then do you remember Chris Pringle?
You know what? We signed him to our label.
Right.
It was a group called Side Effects.
Right.
And Side Effects, yeah, and now he passed away a few years ago.
Yep. Like Chris
kind of sad.
Chris was who brought me into the game. He brought me into Scotty Brothers. And
really, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I started working for Scotty Brothers. And then we went to RCA with Kevin Evans. You know what I'm saying? Like me and Chris Pringle. Like that's one of my true mentors in the business.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? That really put me in the game.
Right.
Like he's the one that put me on the phone with you when I was doing all my business with you. That was Chris.
Wow. You know, then you might know the answer to this question, because I think you're the only one that would know. Whatever happened to Greg Alfaris or Alfury? Greg, remember? And he had that perfect hairstyle. And he had an artist named Mario.
Oh, okay. So Mario, I ended up working Mario's records after the fact. You know what I'm saying? And he's still moving around. He kind of broke off from them because he got a deal on his own with them. Remember, he got his deal on his own. That's the guy you talking about, right?
Yeah. He was on our label too for a minute.
Right.
But he had a manager named Greg Alfaris, who had this cool hairstyle.
Right.
Like his hair would, like Elvis, it would never move. Whatever. Is he still alive?
Nah, I don't know. I haven't seen him in years. I haven't seen him in years. Greg Alfaris. I remember the name though. I definitely remember the name.
Well, I remember the hair.
What about, you remember Alan Johnson?
Yes. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I think I saw him a few years ago in LA at the Urban Network. I was speaking on a panel, and he was here.
Yep. That's the music specialist right there.
How about Fred Held?
God.
I know Nick knows Fred.
Oh
Held.
my God! Don't even get me started, because I was there hanging out. You know, we had a famous store, Carlito from Car Jewels. You know, of course, that was the Gay Mafia too. You know, Fred, and he was so crazy. He was shipping a Coke, Federal Express. Crazy.
Oh yeah, I was
imagine doing that today.
Stupid people still do.
Yeah, I mean, we did so many things where, Ness, you know, this. I mean, not to jump ahead, but you know, we got to have you on again because this podcast is going to blow up through the roof. Teddy came up with the idea. You know how many albums I've been on. You've been on 100. You know, I've been on 100, and
yeah,
you know, we broke so many records together, and even through that McCullough thing, people don't realize. You know, we had our buddy, you know, my man Lonzo Williams on. Tell him how tight you were with him. You were part of that whole thing,
man.
brother.
Yeah, I was so tight that they put me on Eazy-E single call radio. So I'm on the very ending of the record with Dr. Dre. But yeah, I was one of the first guys in the West Coast to play it on the radio. But you know, I knew Lonzo from the Wrecking Crew before NWA because we performed with them in London at the Fresh Fest. We were the only West Coast groups on the bill. It was a world-class Wrecking Crew and Sir Mix-a-Lot. Everyone else was all East Coast, you know, and you know, but it was that was a memorable experience for sure.
Well,
now,
I mean, that's...
hold up, Nick. Now,
no, it's all good.
Nasty Ness, I want you to give us 2 Nick Baby Love stories.
Okay.
2.
Oh, you got to put my grandchildren in there
real,
with your ex-wife.
2 real Nick Baby Love stories in the industry. You know what I mean? Something that makes Nick Baby
Love. Okay, I'm
going
to give you 2. Okay. I'm going to give you a good one and a bad one, and you can't edit out the bad one. So we'll start with the good one. Okay. The good one is when he came to L.A., I saw a soft side of Nick that I've never seen before. He loves his grandson. I went to his daughter's house. He just adores his grandson. It was like seeing a monster turn into a prince. I mean, you should see him. And you know, Nick can baby talk. I've heard him talk like baby talk.
And my granddaughters too.
Grandsons. Yeah. Oh, granddaughters too. Exactly. And yeah, so that's the good side. And what else happened? Yeah, I guess since you mentioned the ex-wife, yes. she would come by and help out, but we don't want to devote time to her. So that's the good side. Okay, the bad side. Okay, you ready for the bad side? You can't edit this out. Okay, so every time, and you and Teddy, I know you've gone through this before. Every time you talk to Nick, what's supposed to be like maybe 60 seconds on the phone, he doesn't stop talking. The 60 seconds turns into like 30 minutes, and he'll talk and talk and talk, right? You can say, hey, Nick, man, what's up, man? What you need? Just real quick. You go, well, Ness, you know, I'm not feeling good. I got to go to the hospital. Yeah, man. He's
got you down.
It'll turn into a whole life story. But that's the bad side. But, you know, I love him for that because he's the only one that can get away with it and not get me mad.
No, but it's, you know, what I was saying earlier, and I wanted you to elaborate on that, is, you know, because I was going back to, you know, the old school, the melody and the hook, and just how we broke records back in the day. Because, you know, I'm from the Boston area, and that's what I got, you know, New Edition, you know, Planet Rock, all that came out of there. You know, what about the melody and the hook and us getting back to basics? Like, I was talking to you, I don't know, the other day or whatever, about these college kids now, because you do college radio. You are the king. Yep. The majors stand in line to hire him because...
So far.
Yeah, well, you know, because I'm trying to educate the audience, too. You know, in other words, they put out 15 records, the majors. They can't work all the records. So what do? In order to appease the people that are putting out money or working, they got to go to Ness because they know he has college radio. I mean, you hear me? This is like gangster stuff. I mean, on lockdown. And you know what? He don't do anything extra. It's because they respect him. You cannot buy respect. This is a man I've known for 35 plus years that we've always respected each other. Yes, we've done crazy stuff. The stories will tell you along the way. But I love this. The college kids now doing listening parties just with Vinyl Ness. That blowing up because that present plant in L.A. is pressing up. I mean, it's crazy how vinyl's coming back.
Mm-hmm. So, Ness, what's the deal with being able to get with you to get your music on this college network?
What do you mean? You want what? You have a show? You want me to send you record? I mean,
No, your information.
records,
Like, how
MP3s?
how can people get the information to be able to get their music on to college networks like you have? Like, what's the process?
Call Nick Baby Love.
Okay, all you gotta do. Well, definitely go through Nick. But I have a website, and you can see exactly what I do. It's all independent, unsigned hip hop, and it's Rap Attack Lives, as in LIVES, rapattacklives.com. Go on there, and you'll see all the charts. You'll see the news, and then you'll see how it's so different. It's not all about that trap music. I don't think any of the artists on my charts have tattoos on their face and different color hair. It's the real hip hop. In my opinion, it's the real underground hip hop, and that's how I like to keep it.
Yeah, like I noticed my man Hakeem Green is on your charts, and Hakeem lives with us out here in Miami. I broke that record, all of Madism with KRS-One.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He's a great guy, man. His new single, Believe, I believe it's so dope. And you know what? I honestly think the reason why I really like it a lot because they sampled. Don't tell anyone this either. I'm a closet Bee Gees fan.
Woo.
And they sampled
They
sampled the Bee Gees song, and the way it was Serum. It was. You gotta give props to Serum. I think he's from there too. I've worked some of his records. DJ Serum.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one, or is it Heron? One of those guys. Produce a track, and it is solid. It's doing really well, actually. I think it's a top 10 record right now.
Wow.
Can we shout out some of our crew? Because even though this is like the mafia and it's omerta, I'm not going to say nothing. Ness is keeping me alive like you are, Teddy. But what about some of our DJs that we work closely? Is my man? Because my mind is blank now, Ness. But I want to give them some props nationally here on Strong Arm Entertainment, Strong Arm Radio. What about my man Third Degree? What's his name?
Oh, yeah, DJ Third Degree. DJ Khaled was one of my DJs before he got famous. DJ Khaled, Muhammad Moretta. I knew all those guys. Bob Rosenberg. They're all down with me before they blew up,
What about some of the other hot guys now?
DJ EFN, he was part of my
Shout
clique.
out to DJ EFN.
But right now, DJ, there's so many to mention. DJ Third Degree, Casio, Third Rail, D Tragic, DJ Fresh. I've got quite a few right now. But too many to mention. If I don't mention their name, they might get mad at me. So you'll see all their names on rapattacklives.com.
We'll make sure we highlight that. That's a big priority for us.
What does Rap Attack have coming up for 2021? What's the new game?
Oh, man. New game is probably, I like to see shows, doing live shows come back because we can't really do that now. Interviews live in the studios because right now you can't really go into the station to do interviews because of COVID-19. I like to see that. And I want to see myself, because I'm up there in age, man. I don't know who's older, me or Nick, but I don't know how much longer I can do this. But I still want to be able to have that good ear and at least through the year 2021 to keep working records to my DJs and be a part of that circle,
Right.
And do what I do best.
In your years of working records, give me 5 of your top records that you really love working with and the success.
Oh God, so many, man. I've worked Tupac, I've worked Wu-Tang Clan.
But give me the record. Give me the record. What Tupac record?
Oh, I mean, there were several singles. You got to remember when Interscope hired me, they hired me not just to promote one record. I promote several. So I think it's better to do the artist's name because they had so many hits.
Right.
Gangstar, I did most of their records. And I mean, I got all these plaques on my wall. I mean, look right behind me. I did the Fugees, Lauryn Hill.
Right, that's what I'm telling you. Keep going. Keep going. Let them know.
Mariah Carey. The biggest one is Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Keep going. Keep going. Let them know, man. Like, let people know Nasty Ness discographer, man. Like, a lot of people.
Oh, man, you know, I'm really humble, man. But we can save that for the next show. So that way, for sure, you'll have me on again.
All right.
No, absolutely. Ness, look at brother. You know I love you very much, man. I just, you know, you made a comment there about age, and like I said, you know, I was telling Newkirk, you know, our engineer and other producer here, and like I said, you know, we're on the campus of Strong Arm Entertainment. This is a brand. This is Flo Rida. This is Reggie Mathis, the lawyer. This is Flo Rida's brother, Freezy. You know, this is Teddy T programming the Strong Arm, and we're streaming every day. This is like a big deal. This ain't like, you know, Pookie and Ray Ray, you know, trying to get a podcast started.
Yeah, so if you look at your link on your text, I sent you the live stream so you can look and see how sexy Nick is looking in his pink shirt.
All right.
When you get off, you can click the link and you can watch the whole interview over again.
But I just want to say about the health thing, because you know, I'm legally blind. I'm a cancer survivor. That's why he wanted to see how I was looking today. You know, Ness, man, you know, if we just keep it moving, because, you know, God's got us alive for a reason. And I know you, John 3:16 is
3:16.
Okay, you do that every time with me.
Yes.
You know, we talk at least once a week. And, you know, the bottom line to the whole thing is, you know, let's walk with God. But, you know, God's got us around because Ness, forget me, okay, and Teddy, you got so much to give. It's like incredible, and this is a platform that is going to reach a lot of people, and believe me, they're paying attention to this, and this is only our second show, and Teddy had to pull teeth for 4 months. You know what it's like to get me to do something. So,
oh yeah,
I got to be, and like I said, you know, I mean, I just want the whole world to know that we're friends forever, but I love you, brother, on a personal tip. Forget the music business. I got mad love for you and your family, and I want us to just keep it going and stay alive because we got to give back to the young generation. You know what I mean? We got to keep giving back, Ness, because I just get upset when somebody thinks they can turn a computer on and it's a hit record. You know, I mean, you finish up, brother. I love you.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, I gotta say, being Filipino and one of the first Asians in hip hop, man, I never planned for this to happen years later, but I'm very blessed. And you know, the biggest love I have for what I do is I get to meet people like you, Nick, you, Teddy. You know, I've got so many friends. Like, if I ever got kicked out of my house, if my wife kicked me out, every single city in the States, I have a place to stay. All right.
Definitely. I mean, you've earned that. You've earned that as being an OG in this thing, and that's why we call this Origins, so people can understand that there's the origins that these OGs come from. You know, you just can't go around and call yourself an OG if you don't got the stars, the stripe, the scars, the wounds, you know what I'm saying, of saying that you're an OG.
All right.
And Ted, what about as we're doing this, because you're the one that runs the show, Teddy. Look, I'm legally blind. I'm a little bit older than Ness, but Teddy's got your back. You know, your Flo can't work every record. He's got a bunch of artists, so we got to send some work towards the brother. You know, our brother Nasty Ness's way. You know, as we move along with the chart and work together on the show. You know what I mean? Am I right, Teddy?
Well, I tell you what. If you hire me on records, I'll work your records, but one thing I do not want you to do is do not send me cocaine, because I don't do that anymore.
Me neither. That's the one thing that we all have in common. We are all ex-cocaine users. Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Oh, you too?
Yeah, me too. I went through the window.
Man.
I went through the window on I-95 in 2005. You know what I'm saying? And I'm here because God got me here. That's why we all in this room together. You know what I'm saying?
And Ness, I got one other thing to say.
What's up?
Teddy's mom, who I love, Alicia, she just passed a few weeks ago. God bless her. Because I know you can give the word, brother. You can give the word. You're powerful. You walk with God.
Oh, man. Well, rest in peace. Treasure the memories, man. I mean, I don't know your mom, but I know what it's like to lose a mom. I lost my mom when I was only 18 years old. So you're blessed to have had her this long,
Exactly.
So hopefully you can be there for your kids too and live long. That's why I'm so glad I don't do drugs or smoke anymore, because that meant I have a congestive heart failure now thanks to smoking cigarettes and doing cocaine. So if I had to do it all over again, I don't think I would ever do that again,
No, definitely. I mean, you learn from your mistakes, and that's why we got you guys on the platform to be able to talk to the people, that's coming up in the game. Y'all got 40, 50 years in this business, you know what I'm saying? And people got to understand to have that type of longevity and the type of stars that you've developed and been around, it's a blessing from God. Like, you guys are saints right now walking around in the hip-hop community, and that's what we're doing this show Origins for, to be able to bring you guys to a platform so people can see, hear the stories, and really understand that y'all still working, man. Holla at him, because this man Nasty Ness is doing it serious right now. Ness, give out all your social media and your website again. We're about to get up out of here.
Okay. The website is rapattacklives.com. My Facebook is at Nasty Ness. There's only one S in Ness, so NASTYNES on my Facebook. At Instagram, it's at NastyNess818. Twitter, I rarely use Twitter. Nastiness with the numeric 1. So just go on the website, rapattacklives.com. You'll see everything you need to know there. And hit me on my Instagram, because I'm almost at 5,000 limit on my Facebook, and I don't want to reach that yet. So just go on my Instagram at Nastiness818.
What is it? Nastiness 818? Nastiness 818?
Yeah, that's for the Instagram.
Okay, it's DJ Newkirk. I'm following you now.
Oh, okay. Word. DJ Newkirk. What's up, DJ Newkirk?
What's up, my brother?
All right.
Yeah, Newkirk, he's the master of DJs, I can tell you that. I mean,
nice,
I can't compete with him, because this whole college radio thing is like, as we're finishing the show, that's like the last frontier, Ness. You know what I mean? Because who else can break records? They're so scared to play a new record at radio. It's effing ridiculous.
Well, you know what, Newkirk, hit me up on my Facebook too at Nasty Ness, NASTYNES.
Got you, bro.
I'll add you as my friend.
I got you. I'm adding you now. I'm looking for it now.
Yeah, me too. But man, Miami, I have so many great memories there. One last memory of Miami, and then I'll let you guys go. Was at the Winter Music Conference. I was alone in a hotel room with Debbie Gibson. but no, nothing happened. But I was alone with her for maybe like 10 minutes, and I had the biggest crush on her. And you got to remember, back then I was only in like my early 20s.
You should have went for it.
And Ness, I'll finish with this. Here's Ness's hook, and this is from somebody whose father was a made guy in the mafia. Nasty Ness. Ness Rodriguez, I'm going to say his real name, is known from coast to coast like buttered toast.
Baby.
There you go.
That's it, man.
Oh, man.
Ness, man, we appreciate you. We definitely going to have you come back on. Any artists that you want to get on with us, you know what I'm saying? Let us know.
Okay.
Origins is about telling the history, so that these kids got to understand the facts of what's going on. They see it, but they don't understand the in-between, how the people got where they're going, and knowing people like you, knowing people like Nick Baby Love, knowing people like me, Teddy T, that's the way to go to get you the understanding of it.
All right. Well, if you ever find Greg Alferez, man, find him, because I want to know how he kept his hair like that. It never moved.
Greg
I don't know
Alferez,
if it was hairspray or if it was even real.
He did photography, right? He did photography.
Well, I don't know about that, but I know he was the manager for Side Effects and Mario. I remember that much.
Damn,
yeah.
I had to find out.
All right,
brother. I love you.
It's a pleasure meeting you, my brother.
John 3:16, brother.
All right, you guys have a good one, man. All right, I'll talk to y'all later.
Okay.
All right, man.
Nasty Ness taking us out of here. Wild Man Teddy T, my man, the Nick Baby Love, the legend, the saint of the game, industry-wise, DJ, promoter, mentor, Nick Baby Love. Any last words?
No, I just, like I said, the public has to understand where we're sitting on the campus of Strong Arm Entertainment in the studio at Strong Arm Radio. This is a big campus in Hialeah, and Strong Arm is a brand. Freezy's a brand. Reggie Mathis is a brand. Teddy T's a brand. Newkirk's a brand. DJ Skull's a brand. DJ Tight's a brand. There's nothing but beautiful. Of course, Nasty Ness. He's a friend for 100 years. You know what I mean? That I love very much. Forget the music business. Like I said, it's personal stuff. You know what I mean? But Teddy, you came up with this.
That's right.
There you go. You came up with this idea, and it took you 4 months to get me down here.
Right here. Finally, you here.
And you got me. And even today, you know I'm not feeling well, but that wine certainly helped me. So Reggie Mathis, famous wine, but we got to have Nasty Ness on again. You saw all the plaques. There's just nothing to say. You know, at this point, all I can say is thank you to Newkirk and Teddy. Thank you for being such a fine young man. You're obviously younger than me. And let's just keep this going. If we can do every Monday, we'll do it. We should just tell them every Monday.
We're not doing every Monday, nigga. I don't know why you keep saying it. It's every 2 weeks.
No. And I understand there's a lot of reasons for that because of my health and whatnot, but we're going to make it the best podcast. I mean, I want to do it right.
Hey, Ness, he's doing it. So we're out of here. We're all the way live.
Yeah, I'm gonna go now because Nick's gonna keep talking.
No, he's done. We cut him off. Talk to you later. Go ahead and go to the podcast. Put the flyer up. Put the flyer up, Newkirk. We're done.
That's it.
It's out of here. Thanks everybody for coming out, man. This is Nick Baby Love record right here. He told you the story about it. Come on.
Come on now, someone to say you